Hey everyone, welcome to Garage Talk. As always, I'm Conrad. Let's go. We're having breakfast, and I'm here with Jeremy Jones from Jonesy's Lawn Care / Ski Joe 4-Banger Racing / driver / what else are you?
Bus driver.
Bus driver. Mentor to the youth in the community.
Sorry about their luck. Full of bad choices and ideas.
Yeah, so we're off and going. We got put in the middle, and I remember you telling me that we didn't want to be in the middle.
Yeah, we didn't want to be in the middle of this race. They start from a dead stop, and it's pretty much like a whole shot in motocross. First one to the front is where you want to be, and in the middle, everybody's trying to get to the bottom pretty much. So you're getting rubbed from the inside, the outside, the front, the back. There's 58 cars that started this race, I think.
Which I thought was crazy. I thought it was crowded. You said you wanted more.
Yeah, I mean, for this type of race, the more people that show up, the fans love it. It's a different animal. It's not just about going fast, as you'll see as we go on. There's a lot of stuff you got to avoid, a lot of wrecks.
Yeah.
And most of the guys driving these cars have no business on a racetrack.
But I damn near shit my pants several times. In 4 or 5 laps that I was in the car.
I'm going to give you 6 laps.
That's very generous of you, man.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we, from the get-go, we had to stop. And as we go on, you're going to see the carnage. What is it?
It's a Grub Getter race. So basically, it's a 30-minute timed race.
Mm-hmm.
No cautions unless there's something like a driver door facing oncoming traffic, or somebody flips, which I'm not sure the flip count, but I would say 6 or 7 of them flipped. Whoever turns the most laps in 30 minutes.
Yeah. It dwindled down to 14. Would you say 14 cars were left standing?
Yeah, I'm not really sure how many finished, but that's a big part of the game. You've got to, and that's kind of why I chose the vehicle I did. It's pretty durable. I got in a couple little fender benders, and if we were in a different car, we probably wouldn't have made it out of one of them. We'd probably been just stuck on the track.
It definitely would have been interesting if you would have had one of those plows on the front.
Oh yeah,
because you did a little bit of plowing. You do a lot of plowing.
I do a lot of plowing.
I bet you do. But yeah, so that guy's getting squirrely, which you kind of nudged him, right?
Yeah, I believe so. You have to move some of them. So kind of the idea or the plan going in was to take it slow and steady until some of them start dropping off, and then pick up business as they fall off. Well, towards the end of the race, you could see on the leaderboard who the leader was. Well, I had no idea, even after I took the checkered flag, which car won, because if I would have known, I would have spun him out towards the end.
That is very strategic of you, Jeremy.
Yeah, it didn't work out that way, though.
I don't understand how you could even take time to look at the leaderboard, because how long is this track?
It's a quarter-mile track. I'd say we probably get going 50 mile an hour at most, and that's at the absolute most. I know to you it seemed like we were flying.
It did.
But
it really did.
I mean, really, I'd say the race car goes twice as fast as that, but it's also way more controlled, and you don't have people facing the opposite direction looking at you in the eyes when you come out of the turn in a race car, generally.
So, you've been driving for how long, man?
I bought my first race car with my high school graduation money in 1997, and I'd driven off and on. Like, I've taken year-long breaks, several year breaks, but I always find myself back here.
Okay. Do you feel comfortable in a race like this?
I do. So not only have I raced, I've done demolition derbies. I really like doing demolition derbies, but it's a lot of work. I've done an autocross with pretty much the same thing as this, but there's a jump in it. A rolling jump. You're not getting 5 foot air or anything, but same concept, but it's not a circle. It's, kind of like a road course with a ramp in it.
Yeah.
But
And this stoppage right here, me and Jeremy are having a conversation in the cab, and I'm like, "Hey man, why are we stopped?" And he's like, "There's a car flipped over," and he goes, "Oh no, there's two." And when I look back, there's me going. I'm done.
exit stage low, and we got some words on here now.
Yeah. I had to.
So
I had to
here's
split.
how this really went. I looked over, and Conrad's right hand is on the side of his chest. I'm like, "Damn, are you all right?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm just holding on." And then I pointed, grab the oh shit handle, but don't put your arm out the window. And he just kind of gave me these eyes. And then at that point, I noticed my brakes are getting kind of soft, so I'm pumping the brakes, and I was like, "Our brakes are getting soft." He's like, "Well, what's that mean?" I said, "It'd be all right. We don't need those where we're going." It wasn't 10 seconds later, he's waving the white flag.
Yeah.
I'm out.
I was very, very hardcore waving the shit out of that white flag. It was so. It really brought everything back to reality. Like, this isn't a game.
Yeah.
There's a couple people on their roof. I'm out of here.
Yeah. Even we had a Jeep Cherokee. I know you can't tell from the video, but it sits up significantly higher than on most of those cars. So it is a roll hazard. And I thought I was getting rolled one time, but I steered out of it and we kept going, luckily. But
how do you know that it's a roll hazard?
it sits up higher than all the other vehicles. So if they hit you and you're in the turn at the wrong spot, you can flip. Or, if you throw it in the turn and the right rear tire pops, it can dig in and you can go barrel rolling. But I think we had the tire pressure set good enough to where we didn't have to worry about that.
I will definitely say it was probably...
Right here's the wreck.
Yeah.
So this red car, I believe he's number 21 too, the one on the inside of the track. He was pissed afterwards, said I took him out. But if you look at that right front tire, I told him he was already out before I hit him. That's why I decided to hit him.
So that tire's not supposed to be cocked that way?
No, she's done. But in my mind, I pictured I was going to fly through there and hit him, and just seas were going to part, and I was going to go about my merry way, but it didn't work that way. So.
I thought you were insane for trying to reverse into that mayhem.
Yeah, luckily, this thing has mirrors on it, so I could see what was going on. But like I said, you don't know how these people are going to react on a racetrack because they don't normally race.
That got the wheels turning. What did I get myself into? What did I say yes to?
Yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah, for you.
Yeah.
I was scared shitless, man. I couldn't believe. I thought everybody was going to be like in a fire suit and like these were regular drivers.
No.
These are cats off the street.
Oh yeah.
I seen some guys, their helmet was a little floppy on them.
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh my. And then the one seatbelt, it's like, so let's paint the picture. This is a stock car.
Bone stock. Knock the windows out, all the glass, and that's about it.
No
roll cage, no nothing. This is a Grub Getter car. So basically, take your car and knock all the windows out and headlights and taillights and take it to the racetrack.
Regular seatbelt.
Regular seatbelt.
So what kind of seatbelt restraints do you have in your race car.
Race car, it's a 5-point racing harness, 2 shoulder straps, a crotch belt, a lap belt. If you flip, you're not moving. You can't hardly move in your race seat. And you're also contained in a race seat that wraps around your ribs and your hips. Not in this thing.
What's that seat called? Is it called?
A full containment seat.
Okay. Have you ever rolled that?
I've rolled one time racing. It was a real light roll. Heisman rolled last year. Real light roll. But in those race cars, I've seen a few people get hurt. I've seen a few people die, but not in like a street stock. Sprint cars mainly, but.
Well, right here, as the footage goes on, you're going to see how crazy it gets in the front. But if you look in the rear view, you're going to start noticing just massive amount of shrapnel from these cars. It was like they were peeling apart like an onion, man. I was a little, I was worried about you because there was a lot of people there, just like quarter panels off. There was one guy that was right behind you for a couple laps. His hood was popped up. I don't even know how he knew to turn. I think he was Ace
Ventura hanging out the window.
Yeah, that was the craziest thing I'd ever been a part of.
Yeah. So that shrapnel on the track, I was kind of thinking towards the end of the race, I was driving as the car's thinned out, then you really have time to kind of think about what's going on a little bit. And there was so much shit on the track. I mean, at that point, it's not a matter of what you're running over, but what you don't want to. That don't make sense. What do you want to run over? Because you're running over something. You want to avoid tires, bumpers, bumper covers, anything metal, mufflers. So you're always hitting stuff, little busted pieces of plastic. At one point, I thought, man, all it would take is a piece of metal get kicked up by one of these tires and shoot through the window, and it'd be over.
Final destination.
Final destination.
But the strategy was right around here in this point in time, not to get a flat.
Right. Don't get a flat. Don't hit anything that's going to launch the Jeep up in the air, cause you to wreck.
Yeah, there were several times. In the small amount of laps that I joined you with, I thought, are they going to get that big yellow tire out of the way? And they sure
tire.
did.
Those tires, if you hit those, is a big deal. We went to the Kokomo Clash 2 years ago. Took one of our other cars, and I hit one of those infield tires with the left front of my car, and it destroyed it.
Really?
I mean, we had to replace the K-frame, which bolts the motor to it. The motor bolts to that. All the front suspension, it destroyed it.
Are they a lot denser, harder material?
And they're very heavy. They're probably 300 or 400 pounds.
Really?
Hit one of those at 85 mile an hour and it does significant damage.
And you're really hauling the mail right now.
Hauling the mail.
I was like in the center of this racetrack, just cheering you on. I was a little concerned. I was like, man, how are you seeing all that? Because it's coming by you at the blink of an eye.
Yeah. So you really have to look ahead. You can't, like right now, there's a white car in front of me. I seen him half a lap ago. I mean, you just got to look ahead. You can't drive off your, the tip of your bumper, or you're going to end up wrecked.
And this is where you start to see all the carnage, all the wreckage, and you're going to notice there's cars pulled over to the left and right of him. I thought was extremely dangerous in this turn.
Yeah.
Where was there? 5 cars right there?
Yeah. That's part of, they just leave them there. That's part of the obstacle. A lot of these cars, the winner was one of them red cars. They had 14 cars from that towing company or junkyard, one of the two. The guy that I hit, I talked to him at the payout window, and he said he started that team, and there's 3 of them, and the rest of them are just people that's tagged along, and he lends out the cars, and they drive them, and don't really cost him a lot because he can salvage them. You know, they're not worth anything, so you might as well get one good ride out of them. It's kind of same thing with this Jeep. I bought this Jeep for $300, and I'm going to tear the shit out of it and scrap it and get me another car. Actually, yesterday I ran across a car. My son-in-law's got a little Honda, I think it's a Honda station wagon that just sits in his yard, and they're getting ready to move. So that might be my next victim.
Your next Grub Getter?
It's pretty small. I don't know if I fit in it, though.
I definitely won't be taking part of any Honda venture in the Grub Getter. That would be even scarier.
It might be faster.
Oh, it'd definitely be faster, but smaller. Yeah. Wow, man, there's just so much stuff there.
Yeah. We've got
bang.
Watch this guy. Boom.
Yeah. He got squirrely and paid the price. Look at you.
Yeah, sometimes you got to cut through the infield here to avoid all the stuff. I also kind of think, you know, thinking back, these are on a transponder. So the car sitting in my rearview mirror right now is the car that won. I just seen that. I don't know if he's getting ready to pass me, or if I would have known that, I'd have wrecked him. It's like he's coming to the inside now.
So that transponder, it keeps track of your position?
Yeah, that transponder is right, I think right, no, I'm on the back stretch. Am I on the back stretch or front stretch? I can't tell. Anyway, is this where the fire happened?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm in the middle of a turn here. So where the flagman is, there's a wire that's buried under the track, and you got a little transponder that goes in a pouch on the axle of the car, and that's how they keep track of your laps. Every time you go past that, it clicks. So I'm thinking maybe next race, go past that transponder on like a caution or a red flag and pull into the infield and just do a little small circle around it a couple times before I get going, act like I'm confused, maybe get a couple extra laps clicked in. I don't know. I'm full of bad advice, but it seems like it might work. Can't beat 'em, cheat 'em.
The logic in that sounds like if you're not cheating, you're not trying.
That's right. I bet that's what that dude that won did.
The passenger of that Jeep that started catching fire, he shagged ass.
He's gone.
Look, he took off in a dead sprint. He didn't even think to tell his buddy. I think they got back in it.
Yeah,
They
I
put
think
the fire.
they raced.
Yeah, they kept racing.
Continued.
Which even further makes me like, this is like Evel Knievel type shit, man. This is stuntman type shit. I think you were a stuntman in a past life.
You know,
man.
I wouldn't be scared to jump a car over something, you know, like the stuntmen do. As long as I'm surrounded by something in a cage, I think I could do it. I wouldn't be opposed to trying it once. Maybe we talk Eric into building a ramp over his pond and giving the last hurrah to the Jeep. We'll send it over the pond and see what happens.
You think the Jeep could get enough momentum to make it over that pond?
Yeah, we'll start at Old Kokomo Road. Full throttle.
I got a feeling you're serious. You tell Eric Skeens any kind of idea like that, he's already engineering that ramp in his head.
Yep. So the next race is next Friday. Next Grub Getter race will be the 21st. A little bit of damage from this race. I think we may or may not have busted a radiator in that wreck. I know when I pulled up, it was leaking, but it may have been coming from the overflow because it wasn't pouring out, but it was definitely leaking. Another problem is when I told you we were losing brakes, it has 0 brakes. I don't know if we ripped a brake line off or what, but
Yeah.
I think my fix for that is I'm just going to find where it's leaking and kink the line, and if we only have 2 wheels that stop, that's all we need.
Yeah. How much are you going to have to work on this Jeep to get it back on the track?
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. The radiator, I don't have any brakes. The left rear, the guy tried to spin me out, caved the left rear end on the Jeep, which made the rear end shift a little bit. But the way it shifted will help it turn, but I'm worried about it putting the drive shaft at a bad angle, so I'll probably straighten that out. Pull the rear end straight, and hopefully that's all it needs. It never got hot. I kept looking at the gauges. If you notice, I turned the interior dash lights on before we went out. Just out of habit, I like to look at my gauges. Now, if it would have gotten hot, we would have kept driving it and melted it down. But it never got hot. It never got above 200 degrees.
So you said that you felt like that rear end helped you turn better.
Yep.
Did you? So you noticed that while you were racing? You were like,
no,
oh.
I had no idea that it was shifted while I was racing, but just the way it's tilted is kind of the same way we tilt the rear end on a race car. It just helps you turn left a lot better. But
that you can look in the rear view, you'll see a blue minivan, the Trump train.
Oh, Trump train derailed.
Yeah. Both passenger tires are blown out.
Yep.
And as it takes those turns, it's kicking up chunks of mud.
Very big chunks, to the point where when I passed him, I threw my left hand up like I was going to block it or something just in case something happened, but it probably would have broke my hand. But there's a good little wreck.
Yeah.
There's that car with the hood up.
Yeah.
He did pretty fast. He's pretty fast with his hood up.
Yeah, he's even faster with his hood up. I was surprised. I thought that would hinder the aerodynamics, but
well, there's no aerodynamics on this one. But I will say that car, that's a Monte Carlo, and it is pretty fast. Kind of got my eye looking for one of those, or a Grand Prix, maybe a Chevy Lumina or something. But
a Chevy Lumina.
Oh, those are tough. I used to use demolition derbies, or run demolition derbies with those.
The Luminas?
Oh yeah, they're tough.
What about a Ford Taurus?
I ran a demolition derby with Ford Taurus once.
How'd that do?
I think I got third at the Grant County Fairgrounds with it, but I forgot to disable the airbags, and I hit somebody, and the passenger airbag popped, which ripped my battery cables off because I put the battery inside. So that was a lesson learned.
Well, I'm glad that
I disabled your airbag before we went in.
yeah,
that would have been some good entertainment too.
That would have definitely squeezed some shit out of my pants.
If that hood would have been up at the start of the race like that, he would have hit somebody for sure. He's actually bobbing and weaving.
Yeah.
Look, we got a red flag here, and I'm trying to stop. If this is the time, you'll hear. Yeah, I'm trying to stop right here. And this dude on the four-wheeler's pissed. Stop! Stop! And I'm laughing, throwing my hands up, because I'm trying to stop.
It's not like you had a whiteboard you could write no brakes.
Right. He was pissed. Is that the Jeep that caught on fire in front of us?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. We'll see him later.
How far down do you have that gas pedal?
To the floor.
You do? Really?
Oh, yeah, to the floor. The only time I let off is when we're going into the turns. Right here, I might tap the brake a little bit, but back on it right now, full throttle.
Are you tapping that brake out of habit? Because
well, depends on your track conditions. If the track was tacky, which means has a lot of moisture in it and no dust, we're not using any brakes. We're going full throttle.
Look at you. Squirting.
Split them.
Split them, squirt.
Get out of the way.
Letting people know that you're still alive.
But yeah, you have to let off the gas just a little bit to get them to turn.
There's the Trump train was on its roof.
Was it? I didn't miss it. Oh yeah. So there's a very good video on YouTube that shows that thing roll. I mean, they're right on it when he flips.
Yeah, he had that coming because, I mean, he was pedal to the metal
Yeah, that's not very good common sense.
and no passenger tire, just both on the
rim.
rim.
Yeah. So when you're turning left, all your weight's on your right, and if you don't have any rubber there and you're just digging in, eventually it's just going to flip.
There it is to your left.
Yep. He's done.
So were you pretty happy with how you finished?
I was. I was happy that I finished. That was one of the goals, but I'm never happy to lose. I felt like, I was faster than I was. That wreck that I got caught up in on the front stretch probably hurt the chances of winning. But, yeah, I mean, when we went to the payout booth, everybody was talking about the Jeep, how fast it was, and swore I had the drive shaft still in it, running four-wheel drive. Look at this guy.
You're at Home Depot picking up the king of the Mexicans.
Hell yeah. One for Weed Eater, one for Weed Eater.
See.
Yep. But
I absolutely enjoyed this experience and not enjoyed it at the same time.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Oh yeah.
It was something that it's cool to witness.
Cool to witness.
To experience,
Not so much.
not so much. But you're an experienced driver. You've done this for a long time. You feel comfortable behind the wheel.
Yep.
I know if I ever decide to change careers and go into bank robbery, you're my wheel guy.
Right.
We're not taking a Jeep though.
No, we're gonna use your car. Or D's car.
Oh, you like the Acadia?
Yeah, we'll take the Arcadia. But
The Acadia seems like it's a roller.
it could be.
There.
Could be. But they got this next race is Friday. We're
Really?
gonna get this Jeep ready to go, and I think Ryan Horn's riding with me.
Really?
Yeah, that's what he says. We'll see what happens.
Well, I'm sure he will, and I bet you he makes it the whole race.
Yeah, he'll probably have liquid courage on his side.
It probably wouldn't have been a bad idea.
I tried to get you to stop.
For some reason, I thought, no, I'm going into this sober.
That's what you said. And I said, okay. I asked you more than once, are you sure?
Yeah. I was talking to our buddy Eric, and he's like, you went in there? I was like, yeah. He's like, what were you thinking? How'd you think this was going to go? I was like,
Right. I'd like for him to ride one time.
He said he wouldn't get in there.
There's no way. Man.
Well, I appreciate you inviting me. I appreciate you meeting me to finish up this narration, man.
No problem.
I look forward to
Really
our
good
next
video.
adventure.
Yeah, we'll have another one.
Hey, tune in. We got a hamburger review coming up.
I'm pretty excited about that.
Aren't we
I
all?
mean, all fat guys like hamburgers.
And you know what washes that down, right?
Oh, you know.
Nice frosty beverage right out of the cooler.
That's right.
All right.
Trying to figure out what this is. We're driving back to the trailer.
Yep, we're following. We go right back where we paid to get in.
Yep. So,
Yep, until next time, this is Conrad Herrera and Jeremy Jones.
we're out.
Nice stuff, Bob. I thought you were gonna hit me at first.